Sometimes when people think about or speak about Jesus, they are really describing Mr. Rogers, who's like all kind and nice and only wants to be your neighbor. Or when they talk about Jesus being all about love, they imagine someone who's like a 60s hippie. Those people are really gonna hate today's gospel reading. I'm Father Lorenzo from Ambo. This is The Cutaway. And I quote, "In the temple, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and the money changers seated at their tables. Making a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the temple, both the sheep and the cattle. He also poured out the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. He told those who were selling the doves, 'Take these things out of here. Stop making my Father's house a marketplace.'" Bam! No Mr. Rogers Jesus here. He's making his point. In 3 of the Gospels, Mark, Matthew, and Luke, this is presented at the end of Jesus' ministry. And many think, well, this was the reason that Jesus got killed. In John's Gospel, where today's reading comes from, this is at the start of Jesus' ministry. The timing is perhaps not as important as the message. Jesus, the physical incarnation of God's love, is pissed. And why? Because he can't stand the shameless exploitation of the people. He could not stand by and let people be treated this way simply because they wanted to be close to God. That is what going to the temple meant for them. The opportunity to be close to God. And that's why the second part of the reading is just as important. Jesus says, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." What rose in 3 days? Jesus. What is Jesus saying? Forget about going to the temple to get close to God. Entry to God is not dependent on anything that human hands can build or human minds can devise. Jesus is saying that he is the way to God. So the next time that someone puts limits on how you can get to God, don't believe them. When someone says you need to give a certain amount of money for God to hear your prayers, say, "Pshaw! Off with you. There are no limitations. God is as close as you will let him be, as close as your next breath, even closer than that." That is what the season of Lent is about, realizing God is right there waiting for you. So go ahead, realize that. Let me know what you think in the comments down here below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button right about over here. When you do, cats who are always putting limitations on their love, well, they just won't care very much. And share with your friends. I'm Father Lorenzo Lebrija from Los Angeles. See you next week on The Cutaway.